So we've got the Ravens traveling to Chicago to play the Bears. Ravens favored by 5 points on CBS. What's really interesting about this game is the Ravens are dealing with some serious injuries. Obviously, the biggest one is the fact is Lamar Jackson is listed as questionable for this game. If you do not have Lamar Jackson, you do not win a football game in the NFL. I'm sorry, but I don't see Tyler Huntley winning a game against Chicago. I just don't see it. I'm sorry. Chicago's playing at a pretty high level right now, which isn't indicated by their record, but Justin Fields has finally gotten his groove in his rookie year. So the Ravens are interesting simply because we could not see Lamar Jackson this week, but you're already without Latavius Murray, right? Which leaves you just to have really Devonta Freeman is the only really running back you can trust. Now Devonta Freeman has been playing well, but that's normally not what they do on offense. They normally spread the ball around to all of their running backs, which when Latavius Murray was playing, they were spreading the ball to Devonta Freeman as well. So it's going to be weird to see just like basically one back. But they've been able to do it in past recent weeks, so I'm not all that worried about it. The Ravens also might be without Sammy Watkins. You're 100% without Sammy Watkins and Miles Boykin. The only real question mark is you could have Devin Duvernay. Devin Duvernay is, in my opinion, the second best receiver on this football team, which would really hurt not to have him when you do not have Hollywood Brown, which would really leave it just in the hands of Sammy Watkins, James Prochet. Trying to think of the other guy. I know Tylan Wallace. I think I'm missing a fourth guy, but I don't remember him. Those would really be the receivers you're counting on. And if you're Tyler Huntley, you're talking about you're losing two of your better. I think, in my opinion, your two best receivers, and Devin Duvernay and Hollywood Brown. So that really hurts. You're obviously already playing without Nick Boyle. Now he's questionable for this game, so he could come back. Your defense has some serious corner issues. If you look at it, there's only 3 healthy corners on the roster. There's something like 5 injured corners. It's insane what they've had to deal with at corner. It's just been a nightmare for them. But you still have Pierre Desir, and you have, what's his name? I think Anthony Averett's still healthy. There's some players you have still at corner that are good enough players for the Ravens that they can. Actually, Pierre Desir, I'm sorry, he's a Buck. I don't know what I was thinking there. Bucks are also ravaged at corner. Bears, on the other hand, have had some pretty not good injuries. Now, you could get Tariq Cohen back for this game, which would be huge, right? As an offensive weapon, a team that is desperately needing offensive weapons, Tariq Cohen would be a huge addition to that. You already have David Montgomery, though, and Khalil Herbert has been playing phenomenally well, which I predicted Khalil Herbert would be good. He looked good in college, and I think he's going to make it in the NFL as a running back. He's a really good number 2 option behind David Montgomery. And then you also have... but the problem is you are missing Damian Williams. Damian Williams is a player that likely will not play in this football game, which is why having Tariq Cohen back would be so huge. But regardless, you still have 2 very good running backs for Chicago. The big problem on offense, if you're Chicago, is you will likely be out Allen Robinson. In an offense that is so desperately lacking good wide receivers, Allen Robinson's injury really hurts. Because outside of Allen Robinson, there is Darnell Mooney, and then there is nothing. Marquise Goodwin has shown the ability to get open but not catch the ball. Really, Damiere Byrd has done nothing since he's moved to Chicago. Jakeem Grant has been used mostly as a return specialist, so it would be interesting if they tried to use him in the offense a little bit more. But this offense without Allen Robinson is going to be weird. Now, you could lean a lot on the tight ends, which is what he really did to get back in that Pittsburgh game, was he threw it to Jesse James, he threw it to Cole Kmet, he threw it to Jimmy Graham, and that's really your strength on offense, is those 3 tight ends. And if you're Justin Fields, you likely run a lot of 3 tight end sets, because if you run a lot of 3 tight end sets, you get all those tight ends on the field. You can put Darnell Mooney out there, and you could also have either David Montgomery or Khalil Herbert in the backfield, and that's basically your 5 best offensive players right there. If he goes wide, I just don't feel like you're going to get any of these guys open, but, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But who do I think is going to win this game? Also, Bears' defensive injuries have been really hard. You lose Khalil Mack for the entire season. You already are going to be without Robert Quinn for this game. And not Robert Quinn, Akeem Hicks for this game. Who's their big Eddie Jackson, I think, is going to be out for this game. So you're really hurt injury-wise. The only player that can really rush the passer consistently is going to be Robert Quinn, which is going to be interesting to see how they use him, because Robert Quinn, again, is a reason why they lost the Pittsburgh game, really, but he's also been a huge reason why they've been able to rush the passer all year long, is Robert Quinn's ability to get after him. I think it's going to be interesting. I think Ravens, with all the injuries, I don't think can win this football game. I mean, the Bears' defense, I think, is arguably better than the Dolphins' defense. Significantly better, in my opinion. And it's just the Bears are not as good a football team, in my opinion. Right? I mean, the Ravens are not a great football team right now, especially without Lamar Jackson, which I'm banking on he's not going to play in the game. And if he's not going to play in the game, I think the Bears easily win, and I think the Bears put themselves right back in that playoff picture, which a lot of people forget about them. But they are right there in the thick of it, just as well as everyone else. But give me the Bears to win and pull off the upset.